So I'm really interested in AI return on investment right now, especially for digital product teams. And I know there are a lot of companies that are investing in AI tools for their product team, for their engineering team, for their design team, etc. And they're trying to figure out how to measure the return on that investment. And I think part of the problem is the mental model for a lot of folks on what's happening in product development is just a little off. So to talk about that, I built this simulation. You can find it on my website, vibecto.ai. And so I think most people, even people who work in the trenches day to day, think about product development as a machine that turns ideas into features, and those features turn into money. And so I built a simulation like that to walk through more visually what happens when you increase code creation speed. I think most teams are using AI tools like Cursor and Claude Code and Codex CLI, or even like Augment or some of the other bespoke tools that are out there. At the very minimum, they're probably using GitHub Copilot, which is, in my opinion, way behind the state of the art. Anyway, they're using those tools mostly to increase their code creation speed, maybe a couple times, maybe 2, 3x. In our industry, we like to talk about 10x a lot. So I think a lot of folks see increasing code creation 10x as a goal, even if that's not one that's written down somewhere. And so they think, okay, we're increasing our code creation speed. We should be delivering more stuff, which should be leading to more money, right? And if you think a SaaS company with their health metrics of customer satisfaction and the biggest one, which is net revenue retention. So let's dial it up. Let's go 4 times as fast, 5 times as fast, and think about what that's going to do to our output and therefore to our results. Anyway, this simulation is built for a year, so let me restart it, and let me restart it going 5x. And we've got ideas going in, we've got features coming out, and we're delivering those features, and our metrics are doing pretty great. So why not dial it up to 10? Let's dial it up to 10 times the code creation speed. And wow, it's going crazy right now. So we're delivering these features, we're going so fast. Our satisfaction is high, NRR is amazing. Should be really easy to measure the return on this level of impact. But that's not what's happening. And I think that's where this mental model breaks down, because in reality, if you're trying to go 5 times as fast, even 2 to 3 times without really thinking about the impact downstream, that's going to have some potential problems. So let's put it down maybe like 5x again, and let's restart, and let's turn it into reality mode. And so you can see things going through, but there's some flames on our code machine, and we're starting to see things break down in the process, and things are going across, but our customer satisfaction is going down, and our net revenue retention is starting to lean towards being unhealthy. But what's happening here is that if you're not investing in downstream parts of the life cycle, like code review and how you ensure quality, both with automated testing, exploratory testing, and how you support adoption of new changes by your customers, and that you make sure you're keeping a high level of quality in the product, things can start to go south pretty fast. So let's say, for the sake of the simulation, we do dial it up to 10 in reality mode. And the machine's really on fire, and things aren't going that fast. Like, this is what happens when you overwhelm the rest of your process by 10xing one piece of it. You might deliver a ton of stuff, but your customers aren't necessarily going to like what comes out if the other stages of the process are getting overwhelmed. In real life, you're probably not going to see this big of an impact this soon on your health metrics. The simulation is a little exaggerated, but it is going to start having some negative effects that will cause some problems for you maybe months beyond that. So if you think about the dream versus reality, let's do a comparison at 10x, where, hey, if you really take your baseline and 10x it, you're going to get all this amazing stuff. You're going to have an incredibly benchmark setting NRR. But in reality, you're barely getting any more, and you're really potentially putting a hurt on your customers and your business if you're doing it without care. And so if we want to game this all out and compare all the speeds, I think what you see here is there's kind of an optimal range that you tend to see around going like 2x or 3x baseline. I tend to see this when you're really being thoughtful about how you change your process, how you apply AI tooling at all the phases of the life cycle you can, and collaborating with the team to take stock of what's happening and improve process from there and work together on that. And you might think about, like, why does if this isn't the right model, what is the right one? And so I also built a simulation of a value stream map. So again, thinking about development and all the stages, like, it's not just a 3-step process, it is a many-step process. And so if you zoom out to kind of the same idea, code, revenue kind of lens to things, there's so many steps that are interrelated, and that if you really 3x, 4x, 5x one of these phases, it's going to move the bottleneck around. And you have to think about, okay, where's my bottleneck now? And not just my bottleneck for shipping code, but my bottleneck for delivering value to customers. And how am I thinking about that in terms of leading indicators like North Star metrics on what can I be measuring in the short term versus like balance sheet metrics and the stuff you report to your board that tends to have a trail of a few months, maybe 6 months, maybe multiple quarters before you really see the impact on those kind of like board level financial metrics. And so how do you think through this process together? But this is what I'm really focused on in my day-to-day work. And if you're doing all the right things, you're thinking about this process holistically, I'm seeing 2 to 3x. And 3x can be really amazing for your business if your customers can absorb it and have it make their life better. The faster you go beyond that, the more negative impact you're probably going to have. Like I said at the top, the simulation, this value stream map, they're live on my website, vibecto.ai. Play around with them. Let me know what you think. Cheers.